I had my intro up and then my phone closed the app that the intro was on. Why would it do that? Why would it be this way? There it is. I got it again. I got it. Nobody
we'll all pretend like this is the start then. Okay.
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 3, 2, 1.
You're not supposed to say the one.
I play by different rules. I'm not the Logan. I'm a different person. But yes, okay. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chat19, podcasty style thingamajig featuring the players you love from Nat19. Here we'll be delving into some of your most burning questions you've submitted using the questionnaire form in this video's description, as well as on our Twitch page. I am your host, Chase, also known as Coffin Jockey, and I am joined today by some lovely, lovely people. How about you introduce yourselves, as well as information on your character, as well as your feelings on the reverb dungeon that I am trapped in.
Yeah, sorry about locking you in an actual coffin jockey.
You know, my main issue is just how big it is. If it was smaller, I wouldn't have this reverb.
Well, I thought you might want to decorate at some point, you know?
Yeah, it's to be some space.
You gotta put some enrichment in my enclosure or I'll get anxious.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you can't leave us again.
I like this very large hamster wheel you've added.
You're welcome.
That generates power.
It's how you power your equipment.
It'll keep me in shape. I'll keep jogging while I ask you these questions so my computer doesn't randomly shut down in the reverb coffin.
Perfect.
But yes, Hayden, tell me things about yourself and also your character.
Oh, goodness. Hi, everybody. I'm Hayden Daviau. On Nat19, I play Aviana Kolesh, the Hanyo Rogue.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you're wonderful.
Tell me one thing about Aviana.
Like a random fact, or just like...
Sure.
She likes tea a whole lot, specifically spiced tea, or like hibiscus tea.
Nice. Thank you for depositing knowledge into the coffin of entrapment. It furthers my escape.
You're welcome.
No!
That's the premise behind the show, is gathering information so I can make my glorious escape. Next up we have Cody.
Hello! My name is Cody Hughett. I play Quintus Valorbilt on Nat19, and he's a good boy. He's a human fighter now turned paladin.
Nice, the goodest of boys. Such a powerful boy. I'm so proud.
And one fact about him is that I assume he has a bag primarily just for underwear because he keeps changing his underwear to many different patterns every single time we see him in them.
Nice.
I'm glad he changes his underwear.
He does change his underwear.
What a good boy.
They're all novelty underwears, though. I'm not sure what he does with the ones he's already used. He's not re-wore any yet. I don't think.
Are they made of silk?
You know that at least 80% of them have to be silken.
The other ones are edible or breakaway.
Exactly.
Some of the silk ones are even breakaway.
So anything's breakaway if you pull hard enough.
Yeah, with a high enough strength check, anything is breakaway.
You know, that's true.
I love it. All right. We have a bunch of questions submitted by the lovely viewers of Nat19 and Chat19.
I enjoy the lovely viewers sometimes.
We do.
Only sometimes. The first question is for both of you. Get it. I'm going to paste it in the chat. Here we go. Bip. Dear Quinn and Avi, both of your characters have taken an interest in romance recently. What would your character's ideal date be?
Oh.
You go first, Cody.
Oh, why I gotta go first? Okay, fine.
Because I've been on a date in game.
I technically have already been on a date, just not with that person, and not actually a date. So, I believe that Quinn would love to take anyone who he was interested in on a very lavish expedition into the city, going to all the high-end places he could find, and none of the people he actually would probably want to date would want that, unfortunately. So they would probably want him to not do those things, and he would have to basically try his best to ask anyone around him at all for advice and be like, Avi, where should I take her? Please!
Fucking help you.
Avi!
Help you?
Avi!
I have better shit to do. Leave me alone.
Goddamn. Savage. I thought of a lovely date, but my date hates it. Make a lovelier date with me, please.
I thought of a lovely date, but they said that they said I was spending far too much money. It's just the wealth of like a small town. It's fine.
Jesus Christ.
It's just the wealth of a small town. How much could it possibly be?
Yeah.
Whew.
What's Avi's ideal date?
She kind of went on like part of her ideal date, cause she and Rory got together, and then he like took her for just like a date and a walk around just the Platinum District, and he showed her like this really cool like statue garden and stuff like that, and they just walked around. She showed him to like where she lives and stuff like that, because she'd never shown him before in the 15, probably almost 16 years they've known each other. Ooh,
I don't know if I can trust her.
Listen, yeah, man. But I think another part that she would like is she really likes the outdoors, so she'd might maybe want to like go for like a hike, but she'd also like to do just a night in where just literally sit and just like either talk or like read books together and stuff like that. Like she just like a very, very simple night in. She's not really a night out on the town kind of person. Just she enjoys spending one-on-one time with people, and that's how she and Rory have always been. So like having just like a one-on-one, just kind of chilling together, that's honestly her ideal date.
Very nice.
I love how the ideal for both of them literally is the opposite of each other.
Yeah, I love that.
It's like, if there ever was a realm, if there was ever even some multiverse where Quinn goes on a date with Avi, she would absolutely hate it.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
They
even
would
in
not
that
last
realm,
long.
even in that realm, she'd be like, this is terrible and I hate it.
Like, why are you spending so much money? Do you know? Dude.
Fucking reverse side of that. They're both just sitting on a couch with books in their hand, and Quinn's like, when does the date start?
When are we dating?
This is the date!
Yeah.
This is the date. We're
Looks
in the same
left,
vicinity.
Looks left, looks right. Whoopee!
Do you know how to read? I don't think you do.
I love it. I love the date that you've prepared where we read books, don't talk to each other, and you yell at me.
So any time spent with Aviana ever.
All interactions are dates now. It's canon, headcanon, but canon nonetheless.
Heck yeah.
Wonderful.
One
Next
thing
question.
that does make me super sad is that Quinn and Avi do not like get along at all, and it makes me super sad because I want to hang out with Hayden in character.
It's okay, I like you in other games.
It's true.
Well, that's actually somewhat relevant to the next question, which is also equally lighthearted. Dear Avi, totally not leading question here. As someone who was persecuted for something you were born with and had no control over, have you considered that your unfettered hatred of Quinn's nobility, which is something he was born with and have no control over, might be hypocritical?
I'm gonna go! The ball
The thing is, Aviana has never claimed to not be a hypocrite. She's a hypocrite in many ways. The thing is, her thing about Quintus and people of nobility, it's not that she hates that they were born into it. There is some envy there from her, is that she, like, they have it better and they don't, like, it's like, fuck.
They've never had to go through some of the things that you had.
They never had to go through the hardships that she has, and she has like a lot of resentment there. But also, it's that she's seen what that kind of money could do, what even like a little bit can do. So she just, her frustration there comes from not being aware. Like, I've said this in game, but it's that people of that standing usually aren't aware of the kind of power that they actually hold. And Quinn is, I love him. He's a little ditzy in some ways. But it's the lack of awareness. It's like, you could do so much more than just be this rich fuckface. This is, Avi brain, but it's like this, you could just do so much more, and you're just sitting on all this wealth. And it's a little bit hypocritical for sure, because Quinn can't change what he was born into. But
I'd say
people of that standing
I'd say that
can
it's
change more.
definitely less. I don't think it's, again, first off, I don't think it's an unfettered hatred, first off.
It's not unfettered.
But I do think that there is some understanding to her hatred, especially growing up in Summergrass of all places. Like, the idea behind the fact that there are people who have been very much all around her all the time that have done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, she has gotten this understanding of nobility that she has not had challenged yet, because, we're still here. And again, probably won't ever have challenged because of how nobility actually is everywhere. Like,
yep.
But her being in a place that literally separates people by walls.
Yeah, there's like literally, so they're all so separate. And she's like, I just, fuck you guys. It's very much that energy. It's like, you look down on everybody else, and that's just how she views pretty much all nobility.
This place has a separate police force just for the rich and just for the poor.
Uh-huh. It's true.
Like, there's all kinds of things there.
Yep, it's true.
So I completely understand Avi's hatred of nobility.
Yeah, that does sound somewhat like a problem. Also, is it like the police that are there for the less, the lower income districts? They probably don't live in those districts. They probably come into work and see this like ridiculously run down place and just go,
From what I've seen, even though they only ever talk about the Electri district and the Platinum district, like that's the only time we ever really see any like distinctions. There's also the middle ground,
There's a
like I would
district.
say, and like the common district. So like it's basically the Iron Watch has the common district and the Electri district, and then the Platinum Watch is like, we just have these guys later. These are where all the good cops go. These are where all the strong cops go.
Everyone able to make a difference. We've taken them to the richest part of town.
And it's like the best of the best are in the Platinum one.
It was never more clear than whenever we got back to the city, whenever that creature had attacked, that big gray thing. I can't remember what it's called. And
the gray render.
The gray render, yeah. And like all around were bodies, and a lot of them were just Iron Watch people, because they stood zero chance against any sort of attack.
Yeah.
There were a few Platinum Watch, but it was primarily the Iron Watch that we were seeing. Yeah, it's not that they're bad, they're just not as like capable.
They are regular NPC knights. They have a certain amount of hit points and they're dead. They're gone.
Sure.
Yep.
Extra thing that I imagine did not do Avi many favors is that the ruling class of this city got there by being incredibly wealthy. Like, they're literally called merchant lords.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they have to have the means to make a change in order to get there, and then choose not to.
Yeah, and honestly, Aviana, spoiler tag, could have had the chance to live a better life. Like, her mom was political counsel for one of the merchant lords, but her mom chose to live in the Electory district for reasons. But her mom chose to stay living in the Electory district with Avi. She was working essentially, like, she was working for a merchant lord. They could have lived in the Platinum district. Avi could have had a much better life than she did, but her mom made sure it was miserable.
Just reverse Aviana being like, rich people are actually pretty great.
Yeah, it's like no,
I can't
no.
wait to
We're
see
pretty
other
great.
lands. I can't wait to see like other places other than the summer grass and things like that.
Yeah, I'm really
Because
excited to see like the land away and shit.
I have no way of saying the land away will be better, but Quinn will tell you like, no, it's much better over there. It's great, but you know, it's Quinn saying that, so.
He's also
But,
biased as all hell.
Yes, and like I hope that it's really nice over there, because from what Logan's told me of it, it's really nice over there. At least from what he's told me. There's
Yeah.
like a lot of like there's like a lot of like this big council that keeps everyone else in check, and I thought that was really cool. Made up of all kinds of different races, and everyone has like the same amount of power. It sounds super cool. I can't wait to see it, but I also want to see other places as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like Grey Rock. I want to see Grey Rock.
Surprise!
Yeah.
It's a dystopia. Just colored by nostalgia.
Well,
Quinn
Hey.
just has an activation word, and he turns into like this assassin.
Jesus.
There is no war in the land away.
Oh no. Oh. Speaking of Queen-based things, next question is for Queen.
Queen.
Dear Honor Boy,
That's me.
how would you have handled the crippling devastation if Winchester shriveled up into a husk due to his heavily foreshadowed separation anxiety and nothing else before you made it back? To prevent future incidents, do you have any plans to get Winchester a permanent globe of invulnerability, or perhaps surround him in layer after layer of bubble wrap to keep him safe?
Well, that's the thing. As long as my plans going forward is to have Fenris.
That's
My plan
fair.
going forward is to keep Fenris as close to me and my horse as possible for the remainder of my adventuring days.
Yup.
But yeah, as far as like how he would have reacted to that devastation, I don't know, man. Like there are several things that go through my head. One would be, depending on what took him down, like obviously he'd be spurred on by revenge. Like I need to take whatever took him down. But because of what took him down, there would have been nothing there. There would have been nothing to avenge, nothing to seek revenge against. And he would have just been there with his horse, the only, to his knowledge, remaining member of his family. And the last thing he was given from his mother. So he's sitting there. I don't know how he would act, man. My thoughts are him basically for like a little bit of time being very much like introverted, like very much like not wanting to speak or do much of anything, or being extremely overprotective of everything else in his life to a point of very much absurdity. Like that would be two things I think he would do, is either retreat inward or expand outward, and in both of them in very drastic ways.
Time for emotional extremes!
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Quinn
fair.
do?
Would you mind elaborating on what might have done this thing? Because I have no idea.
A big old pooty cloud. It was a cloud that was all yellow, and it stunk real bad, and it put a curse on 4 of our boys, one of them including Winchester, that every day they lost maximum health points, a lot of them, and I don't know if you understand, Chase, but Winchester is a horse.
True.
He doesn't have a lot of those. He doesn't have a lot of max hit points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was
that's
literally like one day away from him just being dead. Like, and apparently, I most of the things that I've seen reduce maximum hit points like that to like 0 don't really let you bring them back very easily either. So
Yeah.
it might have just been it. Like,
Yeah, it would have been just dead.
and oh. First thing he did though after he came back is like, I need to secure enough for the other 2 that are like that. I need to make sure Winchester's fine, and I guess me too. Whatever.
Ridiculous.
And now he's in debt to a Boyo for saving him, and that's
A whole Argo
that's probably gonna
boy.
be fine.
An entire Argo boy.
I have plans.
Oh, I'm
But
sure
we'll
that
have to
Argo will
see.
greatly appreciate these plans.
I can't wait.
I think Argo
Can't
will
wait to
end
be
up
mad
being
about
fine.
them.
I think Argo will end up being fine with them. I don't know. Like, I just how chill he usually is.
I'm excited.
I imagine that he's just going to walk into whatever area he goes to sleep, and there will be a massive surprise party thrown with an inflatable slide and balloons.
Of
His
course,
favorite.
of
For
course.
a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
That sounds great. I imagine that's the best way he would be repaid. He has that vibe to me. Next question is for Avi. Dear Avi, you seem to be quote unquote mothering Lexi a bit. What brought this side of you out? Additionally, now that you know that Lexi is old enough to be your grandmother, are you going to continue to be so overprotective?
I will answer the back half first, because it's the easier part. She'll continue to still be probably just as protective. Probably back off a little bit, but no, she'll still be just like as protective and loving of Lexi. And as for what brought it out, I don't want to talk about it outside of game. I feel like that's an in-game conversation. But yeah, no, she feels very connected to Lexi. Yeah. And Lexi is very much like, while she took part in a lot of like the teasing of Avi, it's not as like relentless as like Vogan and now Quintus have been. There's a big reason she doesn't like Vogan and Quinn. Just spoiler tag. But Lexi has been just disarmingly charming. And as standoffish as Aviana is, before she knew Lexi was much older, Aviana really likes kids. And if she sees someone who's younger, struggling or anything, she knows what it's like to struggle and what it's like to like struggle with your emotions. And what was really big for her was when Lexi came to her, and what really like made her be like, no, this is I protect this one, was when Lexi was struggling with how she's supposed to feel like about the whole Quintus thing. And when someone who she perceives as younger or more naive like is struggling in that way, it instantly flicks that part of her brain of, okay, I'm going to protect. I'm going to help you where I can. I'm not good at it, but I'm going to do what I can to help.
I'm going to help you by threatening the two people I think it is at knife point.
Yes. I just said she's not good at it. She doesn't really know how to.
I think she's ridiculously good at it at that point. Like, give her some credit. That worked to an extent.
It sure did, man. You're welcome. I got you a kiss. But no, she's very protective of people, and that is it's been talked about, but it's very much her instinct to protect the people around her. And that's just kind of a big part of who she is. And she likes Lexi a whole lot. She sees a lot of herself in Lexi.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
It's entirely understandable. Lexi has the energy of, like, you don't have a thought behind those eyes every once in a while. Like, only knows belittle and strawberries.
Yeah.
And yet she's the second most intelligent member of the party.
Right?
I love it so much.
So good. I'm a big fan.
I'm a huge
barometer for intelligence, I believe, goes Flux Lexi. Like, that's wild. I love it.
It's so good.
Oh. Next question is for Queen.
Oh.
Dear Quinn, it seems you've recently been chasing a particularly foxy lady. Let's say you succeed in your endeavor. Are you scared about how the Land Away might react to you dating a fox person? And what are your thoughts on the fact that if you have kids with her, you will you have kids with her, that you will only be there for a sliver of their incredibly large lifespan, basically leaving Lexi a single mother for a little bit. Also, you'd be giving the Valor Belts what could possibly be their longest reigning family monarch if one of the Foxy nobles inherits your position. How do you feel about
Well,
this?
those are some pretty interesting questions. From my knowledge, because again, I usually just say things, and if I say things wrong, Logan tells me I'm saying them wrong. About the Land Away stuff, because I only have so much knowledge. But as far as I understand, I don't think it would be that big of a problem if it was a Kitsadria thing, the Fox person thing. Mostly for the fact of, again, the Land Away is basically ruled by all sorts of different races coming together on like a council and like being like a part of everything. Um, so I don't think that the Fox person thing will be a problem, especially because the longevity thing isn't that big of a deal because we have elves and other things like on the council, so that's not a big deal. So if one of them does inherit any sort of family like title or nobility, then it's not like they would be out of place on the council. Again, other people having gone through that a lot more. Um, so I don't think that that's a humongous problem. As far as the thoughts that he would only be there for a small part of the lifespan, he would be a part of the most important part of their lifspan. And I think Quintus would see it as he would be there for their growing years. He would be there for the ability to be there for them in their younger years, to help mold them into fantastic people. And to his knowledge, he would hope that they would remember him, and he would hope that they would love him. But it's also just like the idea of the other good thing about long lifespans is that maybe if they do see him as only a small footnote, they won't be sad about it for long. So
Fair. You just gotta come back as a ghost afterwards
Yeah.
and be there for the other chunk of the life, and then you're good.
Yeah, one of them just needs to be a necromancer, and then I can stay around them all
Oh
the
my
time.
god.
Yeah.
Just Papa Quinn as the skeleton reading the paper in the
Oh
other
my
room.
god.
They goof it up, and you're just a poltergeist, like you don't have a physical form, so you gotta like write notes and stuff like that.
Could you turn the page? I can't do. Could you?
I don't have eyes. I'm a poltergeist. Wonderful. Speaking of the Babbins, dear Avi, do you ever plan on settling down and starting a family of your own? And if so, what's your dream family life like?
Oh, I've actually thought about this.
Oh,
Well, she has said, she hasn't thought about it a whole lot. It's one of those like passing things of I could never have that. But
But the yearning exists.
she does yearn for family, and I think that's a big part of what drives her. As much as she denies it. Straight up said to Flux last game, it's like, I'm not looking to reconnect with a parent, but I'm like, I knew saying that. I'm like, no, that's a fucking lie. You're lying through your teeth. But she does, yeah, she wants to settle down and have a family. The concern is that she is a Hanyo, and Hanyo tend to live like 200, 300 years. And there's no one else that she'd want to start a family with other than Rory. Because that's already her family. Like she's like, no, that's just you are my family. And she'd like to get to know Valder a little bit more and kind of bring that part of the family in a little bit too. But she would like to settle down with him and definitely have a family at some point, but it's not something she's put like a lot of thought into. Because they've known each other forever, but they like just started actually like dating. They are just now a couple, so it's a lot of new things. But her dream family life, I would say being in the common district if they're going to stay in Summergrass, because that's where Rory is stationed as a guard, and that makes him very, very happy, and she wouldn't want to take that away from him. But she'd probably want to move more to the common district instead of being in the platinum district. It would have to be a conversation, obviously, but kind of in the in-between, because while she's allowed to live in the Platinum District, and that's where her boy is, she still finds it super stuffy. She's like, no, fuck her. She's still very fuck the rich. But still keep a lot of her life as part of, like, in the Electory District. And I know, I hear you giggling. Let me finish, motherfucker.
I just thought of a thing. I'm sorry. I'll tell you after.
Okay. But still, you know, she would want her kids to be aware of the differences that are there between, like, the different classes and stuff, but let them know it's like, ultimately, it doesn't matter. Like, where you start out doesn't matter, because she started out on the streets and now look where she is, you know? So, but yeah, her dream family life would just kind of be finding, like, a middle ground between where she is and where Rory grew up and stuff like that, and finding just kind of like a middle ground, and just raise them, especially because their kids would come out a little funky because she's a bird. She's she's literally like a half raven demon, and he is a human, and she also has elvish blood in her, so it's a whole lot. But yeah, no, she'd like to settle down.
I also imagine that their views of the world between Avi and Rory would be incredibly conflicting when trying to raise children.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
always make sure to obey the laws, kids. And then Avi's like, laws are threats.
Yeah, basically it's like, okay, but honestly, they're a little bit more of a suggestion sometimes.
Laws are more like guidelines.
They're more like guidelines. They're a lot more like guidelines. Thankfully, you don't have to pick any pockets like I did. You shouldn't.
So my giggle was about that. It's just like you said, fuck the rich, and then I'm just like imagining one night going over to Rory. Rory's like, "What's going on?" You just drop a bunch of diamonds on him, and he's like, "What the?" And you're just like, "Rory, fuck the rich."
Oh no.
Cody. Dude, she doesn't have to do that. She's already doing that.
I know, but it'd be funny.
Oh, she would never, but that'd be real funny.
I know, but it'd be funny.
Like, I stole these diamonds from Fenris. We gotta get this going.
We gotta go. Oh, come on.
We gotta go. Come on.
I just imagine that, like, one of your children stumbles into, like, this massive stash of, like, 500 plus gold diamonds each. And they're like, what is this for? Is this like our college fund, or like our thing to, like, set us up when we're adults? And you're like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I set that aside in case one of you died preemptively, and I have a cleric friend. Like,
Yeah.
The laws of the universe don't really apply to me or my friends, so just decided to subvert some expectations just in case.
Dude, player characters have such a luxury of thought for things like that, because, like, backstories are always tragic because someone dies or something happens, and then there's, like, Quinn here now sitting here like, I need to make sure I remember to always keep a cleric with me at all times in case someone dies, and I bring them back and it's fine now.
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't have Fenris last game,
Woo!
I don't know if you heard, Chasey boy.
I haven't even heard.
Do you want to hear or nah?
Let's go.
Do it.
Avi died.
Oh.
And Fenris had to revivify her mid-combat.
Ooh.
Fenris was the only person who got to make those checks. I don't know what Avi's DC was, and I don't think Logan's gonna say, just for future deaths, but fucking, which is fine. But yeah, no, Avi bit it, and then Fen had to bring her back mid-combat. It was very stressful. I cried a whole lot. But yeah,
was there any like complications with it? Like, was there any like stat problems or anything from it?
It was the same thing. Like, I had to roll a d6. I lost a point in charisma, which for Aviana, that's fine.
All right, that's fine.
For Avi, that I said it. I was
yeah.
like, no, that tracks. It wasn't my dex, so I'm fine.
I was sitting there like, oh no, what if it's that's charisma? Never mind, she doesn't use that.
No, Avi doesn't use charisma.
I do have a question after that.
Uh-huh.
Dear Avi, how does your encounter with death impact your outlook?
Outlook on what? Life?
Yeah, just things generally. You want to scoot any plans forward a little more?
For what, a little more?
any plans you might have, any ideas, any expectations or dreams or things you want to get done? Anything a little higher on the priority list suddenly?
Yeah, there are a few things higher on the priority list. Is figure out, like, meet her goals a little bit quicker so that she can just go home. She's realizing more and more, like, even just these few days away, she's such a homebody. Like, she's like, no, I'm just ready to be just home. But she knows that she's talked about it with Rory, like, in game, but she's like, she can't settle. Like, she would not be able to settle until, like, she gets her answers. But it's she's feeling really guilty for Fenris having to bring her back. Like, she's grateful because she gets a second chance, but she feels like a waste of resources right now.
Gotcha.
Because she's like, I'm a demon. I'm a Hanyo. I shouldn't exist. Like, I am wrong, and her death would have been one less demon in the world. And she's feeling real guilty for Fenris having to burn that resource.
I mean, I get that, but like we already talked about, like which resource? Just like the 300
just like the
diamond,
the diamond, and her spell slot and shit like that. And she's but also she's realizing that she cannot go it alone anymore. Because what happened is she went into a room with a bunch of Duergar, and she went too far in, and they closed the doors and, like, barred them. So the others had to spend a bunch of turns trying to get in. And some asshole came in with a cursed sword or whatever. It's like a sword of 9 lives or whatever, and it instantly killed her. And when she came to, a big thing she's sitting with is, fuck, she can't, she has to let herself rely on other people or just leave entirely. Like, she can either rely on the highest standard or she has to leave. So
yeah,
that's how the death has impacted her outlook.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
She's struggling.
Yeah. She's doing stuff. Straight up doing it. Speaking of this struggle, to ask a question very directly about it. Dear Avi, most people would normally identify you as a confident, independent bird person who don't need no guild. The cream of the squawk, if you will. But recently, when certain curse was bestowed upon you, that confidence seemed to dwindle, even to the point where you thought your relationship with Rory may come to a close. Drama. Where is Avi's self-esteem drawn from, and why was it so utterly destroyed in that moment? Similar things that may or may not be related to the death thing, but you're going through it right now. Sounds like if it's not.
She's had a whole time in the Underdark, man. This has not been a great time for her. It started great, but that's a really good question. I'm gonna think about that for a sec. But basically, her confidence mostly comes from her skills in, like, her in her sword play and just, sneaky, like, her roguish abilities basically is where her confidence lies, where she's like, no, I know I'm good at these few things. I'm still a fucking freak. Aviana, very much, she does not see herself as beautiful. She does not really have much confidence in her physical appearance, and what little confidence has started to grow over the last little bit here. As soon as the curse was bestowed on her, she was like, fuck.
What effect did the curse have again?
It deformed her. Because we fought a Fomorian and it cursed her and she was deformed. So she got ugly real quick. Because she already sees herself as a monster. And it just kind of solidified that fact for her of, in her mind, she's like, this is what I'm supposed to look like, isn't it? Because she's convinced that she's wrong as a creature. So she's like, well, this is what I'm supposed to be. And where she was, like, with her thinking that her relationship with Rory would come to a close, she didn't want to subject him to this. Like, he's already putting so much, like, in her mind, he's putting a lot on the line by being with her publicly, because she's a thief, she's Hanyo, and, like, she's known as, like, the assassin of the fucking Electory District, or, like, the demon of the slums and shit like that. So she's like, I already put a lot on this boy. I'm not gonna add this to the mix and subject him to this. But yeah, she took a self-confidence hit, but her confidence is definitely drawn more from her skills than her appearance.
As well as her impeccably high charisma modifier, which
Oh,
has
of course.
all been adjusted recently.
Nope, so that doesn't help either. Yeah,
Oof.
I hope that answers the question.
Poor Avi is going through it, man.
Yeah, man, she's had, like, so much this week.
It's been a
Man,
week.
Her whole life is a top 40 radio station. It is just hit after hit after hit.
It's true. It's fucking true. She can't catch a break.
I'm so sorry. I mean, the Underdark does that. To be
Yeah, it's
fully
true.
fair, is kind of the point of the Underdark, is that it does
True.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dark down there.
It's fine.
It puts you in a bad spot. It's not great. Next question I have is for Quinn.
Ah,
Speaking of negative feelings, dear Quinn, how do you feel about your outburst you had towards the glaive? Want to talk about how you almost killed half of your friends over a petty insult?
Well, first off, the only person that almost died there was me. So to say that I almost killed half my friends over anything is to say that any encounter we go into almost kills half of my friends. We did actually super well in that fight. That was such a good, like, mechanically good fight. And on one level, I do somewhat regret playing Quinn like I did, but I also feel like if I was going to keep to how I felt Quinn should be played, then I should have played it exactly like I did. For your information, and maybe for Hayden's, I'm not sure how much he knows about it. But the main thing that happened was we had made our way to the top of the area where Vogan had needed to complete his trial, and there was a glaive inside of there. There was a thing, a being in there that was yelling toward the party, and they were insulting everyone. It was insulting Vogan, it was insulting Quinn, it was insulting Lexi, it was insulting everyone. That's just what it does. And one of the things that it had said was it said that they were grave robbers, and that wasn't even directly thrown at Quinn, but the term just really got him upset. And I have a thing that I want to do primarily with Vogan that will explain a big bit of that, and I don't want to really go over it too much right now. But it was something that, as it was being said, I was like, there are so many things pulling me back. There are so many things making Quinn not want to do what he's about to do. Because again, like, Lexi was like, hey, leave it alone. Vogan was like, get out, Quinn. Maybe if he was a little bit more nice about it, maybe what I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But whenever it was going down, I'm like, I feel like Quinn wouldn't back down, and so he went into the thing. And I do think that it would have, no matter what happened in that situation, I do think that it would have ended in a fight regardless, because there was just a lot of things in there, and that thing was never going to change its mind about any of us. But it was something that Quinn incredibly regrets. However, that is not the biggest thing Quinn regretted from that fight. So the biggest thing was leaving afterwards, because that was after they had rested. That's when they learned about the curse happening. And this was the big thing. Like Quinn can say he regretted what happened in the fight, but the big regret was knowing that he had to get out of there with Winchester, but also knowing that he was still cursed, and Vogan and Sunder was still cursed, but he had to get out. He was sitting there like, I need to get Winchester out of here, but the thought's always in his head as he's leaving now, did Vogan and Sunder make it? you know?
Mm.
So, like, I'm not sure how many days we're gonna have, like, whenever everything gets brought back. I'm not sure how many days Quinn has been there, and if any of you guys show up in that time, but I'm basically making Quinn stay in his room until the others show up. He's going to be in his room, or he's going to be at the entrance of Summergrass.
Yeah, I think
'cause-
you were, if I remember correctly, you were like 2 days ahead of the others.
It is one of those things where there's a part of his mind always going, did they make it? Did I doom them, basically? And that is something that Quinn is not gonna get over very easily. Especially, I have an entire thing I want to talk to Vogan with, and we'll see that in a couple of weeks.
Foreshadowing. Next question is also for Queen. Get a big ol' jump. Having a little Quinn jump here.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Dear Quinn, are you going to take it when the other party gives it to you? And how cursed do you think it will be?
This is such a fucking
like scale of 1 to 10.
So it's
I have no clue what this question is about, and on sheer faith that you would have an answer included it.
So Chase, it's either 1 or 10. Like it is either 1 and they're fucking with me, or 10 and they're not fucking with me. The first thing that happened after they had one of their games is I came in to be like, "Hey guys, what's up?" Just sort of like hanging out, wanting to talk to my boyos. And immediately Logan's like, "Listen, Cody, don't take it. They're trying to trick you. They're trying to curse you. They're trying to destroy you." And I'm like, "What?"
We haven't even discussed anything.
And then I was nervous, and then Spencer came in and he did the same thing, and I'm like, so he's playing around.
Yeah, when Spencer says something like that,
Well, no, he said it to Spencer.
I see.
Like, he said it to me, and then he said the exact same thing to Spencer. I'm like, so they're fooling with me. So it's either not cursed at all, whatever the heck this thing is, or it is something that would only affect me and Vogan, which is like, I don't know, man.
I sense no danger here.
I trust my friends.
Maybe I just want to give Quinn a nice gift.
Okay, if it's Avi, then we have to rethink ourselves.
Again, 1 or 10. There is nothing in between.
But no, I think the big thing is Quinn would trust his friends. If they want to give him anything, he'll take it. He's already got some pretty nice things, so if they decide not to, that's perfectly fine. Him and Vogan got some really nice things, and you guys probably got some pretty nice things, and we all got nice things, and nice things squad.
Nice things are nice.
Yeah.
Nice
So we'll see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, 1 or 10. I agree. Nothing in the middle.
It's either nothing or it is the worst thing possible.
Instant death. Here we go.
And I will trust my friends. We'll see.
Wonderful.
Will I die? Who knows?
Putting it in their hands now. Next question, also for Queen. Dear Queen, when it comes to noble practices, where does Quintus excel and where does he stumble?
I would say
does
that
he know which fork is the salad fork?
That's the thing! That's the thing, Chase! I would say he excels in speaking to other nobility and other people of power, but he doesn't. But he needs someone like Kitty around for the etiquette. He's like, it's definitely like there is a point with him where it's like, oh god, which fork am I using? Am I doing this right? Kitty, please help me. And that's why he needs someone like Kitty or someone else around to aid him, because he hasn't had a lot of time with that. Quinn has never in his life thought that he would be the one that would be the head of his family this quickly, and with his father dying, he has not had any chance to really learn a lot of the etiquette, at least in my headcanon for him. Or at least if he did, it didn't stick, especially after his night training. So I would say that he excels in speaking with people, but he is horrible at the etiquette aspect, at the actual little minutiaes that you have to do, like the little cordial things, like, oh, you picked up the wrong fork. Oh, how daring! Oh, you're like someone from the common district. No, I'm like, and he'd just be like, it's a fork. I don't know what you want from me.
It's a fork. I put things in my mouth. See, I'd like to see Aviana see him struggle with that. Because
you were too busy being mad.
Yeah.
The one time it happened. The one time it happened, you were so angry.
Yeah, man. Because it was such a flex of here's all this food and this fancy shit, and she's like, all right, well, fuck you, Modus turn. No, but like I'd like to like see him be like, sure, it's a fork. I think that would actually draw her to him a little bit more. Be like, okay.
It is definitely in that scene in particular, like he didn't even get his own food. He looked at Kitty like, I don't know what I don't know what they want.
Yeah.
Like he's like, do I reach now? Do I reach across the table? Do I wait? Kitty? Kitty, please? What do I do?
So you just get something like a ring of sustenance equivalent thing that you never have to eat. And every time that you show up at a feast, you just go, I just came from a much more lavish feast earlier. I couldn't possibly eat.
He would hate that. He loves food.
Well, it doesn't make you never eat. It's just you never have to eat.
I get you.
So you can eat if you want, but yeah, you just fake it whenever you're in a situation like that.
Oh man, but that was super fun because like I didn't get to show Quinn before that in any sort of awkwardness, because whenever he was going into like the actual parties and stuff, he was like, oh, let's go and talk with these people, or oh, let's go and mingle with the people at the pool, or oh, let's go and perform, and like he was like, he's ready. That's where he's at home, is like the parties and the talking and the the diplomacy, stuff like that. But like if it's like, oh, you have to do something in particular, he's like,
yeah, man.
That's great. That's such a good one. Final Quinn chunk question. Dear Quinn, how do you feel about being away from Kitty for this long?
Everything's gone downhill ever since Kitty left me. That's
everything is dark.
Everything is darkness. If Kitty was there, and if Kitty would, here's the thing. I want to say this, and like I'm sure Carrie and everybody else will take this the wrong way. Lexi telling Quinn to stand back and Kitty telling Quinn to stand back are two completely different conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really does think that he is falling for Lexi, and he really does like have feelings for Lexi. When it comes to Kitty, though, he knows. It's like Kitty is the person he is the one who knows everything. If he tells me something, that's what I listen to. So like Lexi telling Quinn, oh, don't listen to this thing, stand back, that's a completely different story than Kitty just going, hey Quinn, stop, and he'd be like, okay. Like I don't think that anyone has ever pushed it, because Aaron's such a chill guy when he's role playing. Kitty could literally get Quinn to do anything. I told him that from day one. He could literally be like, Quinn, I don't think we should trust this person, and Quinn would never trust that person again.
Damn.
Like, it might be different with the party. Like, if it's like, Quinn, never trust Avi again, he's like, well, let's see her side of things. But, like, if it was like, Quinn, never trust never trust Scandal again, he's like, on it. Won't do it.
You got it.
Done. I've decided.
Because, like, that's just how he is with Kitty. Kitty is the person in his mind that is the absolute, like, authority. Like, it's so funny the way that their dynamic is, because Kitty is supposed to be working for the Valor Builds, but this dynamic basically is, I am putty in Kitty's hands, and he's not taking advantage of it.
Yeah, he could be your Jafar, but he's Miriam, so he's
too chill. He's too chill. He won't do it.
Good boy.
Far too chill.
I told him, I'm like, you can have me do anything, and he's like, cool.
Like, good to know.
All right, I'll never abuse this power.
I hope he does one day. I really do.
Oh, dude, I hope so too.
Really
I want to see that happen.
Oh, that'll be so good. Oh, next question I have is for Avi.
Oh my god.
Dear Aviana, is it true that Rory looks like Prince Charming from Shrek 2?
I know whose question this is. I'm looking at him right now.
Oh.
You're on thin ice, motherfucker. He's waggling his eyebrows at me. Anyway. I'm gonna get real close.
Yep.
No.
So it's false that he looks like Prince Charming from Shrek 2.
I don't think so. I personally don't think so.
The face is different.
Which Shrek 2 character does he look like then?
I don't think he looks like... Okay, alright. He doesn't... Go away, Alejandro. Go away. Calling him out. He stood up next to me, and I have a Rory water bottle on my desk, and he holds up. The thing is, okay, I'm gonna pop off here because I'm sick of this shit. All
I'll
right,
get my Pringles.
dude, get your fucking Alejandro. I'm speaking. Ooh, angry wife vibes coming out. It's fine. The thing is, Rory has a lot more of like a sharp jawline. Whereas Prince Charming, his face is literally a square. I don't care what anybody says, his face is like a square. He's very unattractive. I don't see it. I don't know. I just don't personally see it. Yes.
I will say, I'm looking at both of them at 3/4 angle, and the jawline is almost like traced.
I don't see it personally. I'm like, the thing is, I'm like, no, the face shape is different to me. Like the hair swoop, the way it swoops, I see it a little bit, like in the hair, but I personally don't. No, I don't see it at all.
I do agree. The face is different. Like I said earlier, it's definitely
the face is very different.
If you put them together, if you put them beside each other, you could differentiate them definitely.
Well, here I'll say this. Fine. You want to know who looks like Prince Charming? New headcanon, Valder looks like Prince Charming.
Oh my god, yes.
There you go.
There's a man's I need to talk to right there.
There. They can be related, but they don't look the same. There. Final. Fucking lawyered. I don't know.
Get lawyered. Destroyed.
Let's just say there's a fiance who's in a lot of trouble for that question, but we'll leave it at that.
No.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly imagine who you're talking about.
No. Crazy.
Rory, question number 2.
Yay!
Dear Avi, what do you think Rory's hobbies are? What do you think he does when he's not on duty or preparing to be on duty?
That's it. That's the only 2 modes he has.
Yes, that's it. He doesn't even sleep.
There's nothing else.
It's all part of the game. You gotta have your head in the game. It's all part of the watch. You gotta keep your eyes open. Sleep, that's just prep for being on duty. Dude is fuel, man. That's what Rory sounds like. That's my impeccable Rory impression. That's exactly what he sounds like.
That's exactly what he sounds like. The accent on point. Honestly, for me, because like it's something that I've wanted to talk to Logan about a little bit more, just to like kind of flesh out that side of their friendship a little bit more. But from the conversations that the two of them have had, I'm like, he strikes me as a book boy, because he's like, I just know things from like what people have told me, and like what I've learned from books is something that he said to her before. So I'm like, he seems like a book boy, which is why like when the question came up about like a date, I'm like, seems like they could just kind of chill. You know, like he seems like a reader to me. Just like he's a very chill boy. He doesn't do a whole lot. I literally I wrote a letter to him, I'll say this, like while I was just busy being dead. And I wrote, I think, what did I say? I was like, I mean, you could stand to get some more hobbies, but that doesn't matter right now anyway. So
what you're saying is he's easy to read.
But literally, like, when Lexi and Avi went to go find him, like, to be like, hey, yo, we're doing dinner. Let's go. He was walking around, like, patrolling, which is really cute. It was really, I was like, aw, dumb boy, I love you.
That's so good.
That's why I'm saying he only has those 2 modes.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even come lift weights.
I love it.
Because he has the weight on his shoulders is too much already. He's got to protect the city, man. He's all about the platinum district. He's got to protect the people. It's all about security. It's all about duty, honor.
Listen, if he said the word honor to Aviana, she might punch him in the face.
Listen, being a guard is all about honor. You're either on or off the watch. Duty. Prepping.
That is the best word of any word. I how dare you?
Oh man, it's fine. He like half defended Quinn, and she's like, "Yeah, all right, be nice there, Orman." But yeah, to rewind it back to the question. Yeah, he strikes her as like someone. Strikes me as like someone he'd be like a reader, just a chill boy, which she likes. She's like, "Oh, you're so normal, thank God."
That's wonderful. I have another Rory question.
Heck yeah. I love the Rory chunk.
I know. Hey, I'm down for these.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we got an Avi chunk, then a Quinn chunk, and then a Rory chunk. It's as it should be.
There better be a Winchester chunk.
Oh, I think the only one we had was the one that I submitted, as if he suffered from separation anxiety.
Curses.
As I will call it. Next question, dear Aviana. We know that Avi cares about Rory a lot. So how would Aviana have reacted in the long run if Rory had actually died during the final battle of Summergrass? How would that have changed her? Would she throw everything else away and demand the group try to save him instead of their current goals?
Okay. So this is actually something that I had to think about when he was crystallized, because we didn't know at the time that we had a way to reverse it. Her pulling out the ruby, which allowed them to like start the reversal. It was a whole thing, but you were there for some of it, the small part. But if he had died during the Battle of Summergrass, she would have still been very, very broken for a while. She probably would shut herself in a lot more. She would have sought revenge a lot more, and I think she would have given in to her demon instincts to a greater extent, which she tends to do like during battle is something that kind of comes up for her. She probably would have just become a lot colder and stepped away from people a lot, because it would have solidified the side of her brain that tells her that she can't care about, that caring about people means that they will either die or leave. And I think that really would have solidified that for her, which it was, which is why she was so just like distraught. But that's also like her best friend, and they've been friends since they were like 10. So yeah, I think she would have become a lot colder. She would have, as for throwing everything else away, she might have stuck with the group to go finish off Diane. Just mostly out of revenge at that point. Because a lot of Diane's actions were woven into everything. And I think, well, she knew that Miriam had the wish spell. I don't know if it'll ever come up in conversation in game, but I've said it to other players, but she probably would have told Miriam that whatever, he's been kind of at her like flirtatiously, and at that point she would be single. She probably would have told him it's like, anything you want, everything's on the table. But I bring him back. She probably would have begged him. It's like, use your fucking wish to bring him back.
Oof.
Yeah, everything would have been on the table. That would have been the one thing that she wanted. There's another thing she would have like wished for, like in having like a wish, but if Rory weren't around, he's such a big part of her life, and she thinks like he so like deserves just to live, and just that even if she dies, a big thing for her is like, that's the person I care about the most. I want him to keep living and live a fulfilling life. That's what matters to her.
That
So.
brings up like a thing in my brain of like if she were able to word the wish as well. It'd be like, you know, she's like, everything on the table, I want him to be safe. I want him to never have to worry about this stuff again. I want to have a fulfilling life. And it's like, I want him to come back and have no memory of me.
I don't think she'd want that.
Okay. That was
No.
where I was kind of thinking you were saying with that.
No,
like,
she
wanting him to have
wouldn't
a
want...
fulfilling life, because he'd want to go for you.
Yeah. No, he would, she wants to be happy with him, is the thing.
He would
Like,
very
while-
much want to go to you, like that. Like, I feel like at least.
Oh, yeah. He absolutely would, and did.
Yeah.
Got that smaunch. But yeah, no, she would have demanded, but also begged to have that wish made for that.
That's
And
so
then that's when
Avi-
Kitty brings up his evil side and then leans down and goes, "No." I'm kidding.
You're gonna say face.
I'm kidding.
So like Rory, basically dead at one point. Avi also basically dead at one point. Seems like there is some sort of logical through line between relying on others and staying alive at this point.
Yeah. And this whole thing really, all the events of the last week have really driven that home for her. And she's working through it.
The trust is coming.
It's happening. The trust is happening. Brett asked me after she brought me back. She like texted me. She's like, "Are we friends now?" It was really cute. I was like, "Yeah,
That's so good."
yeah." She's like that Fenris girl. She gave her a little mwah on the forehead after she brought her back.
That's so good.
Yeah. Hope that answers the question.
I think it does. I very much think it does. The next question I have is for them.
Who's them?
Oh, them is, it's the high-flying teleporty being good, but mainly for Rory. The women want them, the men want them not to kill them. The sneak attack in the back, no beak, and doesn't quack. The finest feather queen. Aviana.
I get a long ass title!
You
yeah.
do get a long-ass title. Flux expressed his apologies about creating you a bird gift, but most of the highest standard still enjoys cracking bird jokes on your behalf. How many of them do you think will need a stabbing before they finally knock it off?
I'm gonna leave. I feel attacked.
As you should, motherfucker.
You shouldn't feel attacked, you should feel damaged.
Yeah.
I mean, that's if she can get over the...
Alright, bitch. You wanna go? I'm just gonna have Kitty stand next to you, and then flash victorious. I get advantage on that attack, you see, and then I also get sneak attack damage.
See,
and
if you're trying to kill me, though,
if
you're trying to kill me, though, would Kitty be your ally in that case? Like, just saying.
He doesn't have to know what's going on. It's like, hey, Miriam, just stand right there. Just do it. Just do it. Mwah. I'll kiss you on the forehead if you do it. You get a little mwah. But, okay, to actual question. Flux has apologized, which he has, and he gave her a thermos, which was really cute. He gave her a thermos last game, which, so Flux has apologized, and they've made up, and most of the highest standard enjoy cracking the bird jokes. So pretty much, I don't think her first instinct is violence. It is always violence, which is why she tends to just hit Bogan and hit Quinn when it happens, because she's so pissed off that she's like, no, fuck you. If I hit you, maybe you'll stop. But it's not stopping. So let's just say there's some things that she needs to say in return next time it happens. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
So excited.
Oh yeah.
Next question is additionally for the Caw girl.
Okay.
Dear Caw girl.
I know who this is for.
Avi and Fenris's relationship has been pretty neutral and occasionally awkward. Do you think that'll change now that Fenris has saved Avi's life?
Yes, I briefly touched on that, but Aviana, while she hates owing people, she now definitely owes Fenris her life. Like, literally. But she just in their time in the Underdark alone, she's seen a lot of like who Fenris is, and like in their time knowing each other, she's seen it's like, okay, so she's not the ditz that I was kind of hoping she'd be. She was hoping that she would be a bad fit for Tantia, having previously dated Tantia. She's like, okay, so I'm not the worst thing to happen to this woman who's wonderful. But then she's just like, oh fuck, Fenris is perfect for her. Damn it. Which is where a lot of the hatred for Fenris came from. Was like, fuck, god, she's so good for her. Damn it. I fucked up. I royally fucked up. But it has been pretty awkward with the two of them, but now I think they're getting a lot closer. They're able to actually have conversations, and Aviana is learning a lot more about kind of what Fenris is about and who she is. And it's like, it's not just that she just cares about people because she's a cleric. She's got some feist to her, which Avi really likes. She can be a little feisty sometimes. She's very, very strong, which Aviana, in seeing her in combat a lot, they plan to fight in order for Aviana to be able to pay her back for sending stones. So they have to fight, which is exciting, but I think since just her saving her life, she just is like, okay, Fenris is just a good person, and I need to start letting her in because she has never wronged me, and I've been the one pushing her away.
No,
that's true.
So she's like, the walls that she has put up to keep Fenris away from her are coming down now. And like Miriam called her out on keeping walls up, like in one of their early conversations. It's like, you're just keeping everybody out, but you're also like keeping yourself in. And that has sat with her. And over the time knowing the highest standard, those have all started slowly but surely coming down. Like slowly but surely started coming down.
Fenris may not be a wizard, but she nonetheless cast pass wall into your heart.
She did. My cold, icy, demon goral heart.
Wonderful. I have 3 questions left, and then we will play the game with the highest stakes ever conceived.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
For the first time ever.
I know, for the first time. Every episode of Chat19 is for the first time. Dear Avi! What do you think Rory would have done if Avi stayed dead? Sworn vengeance on the highest standard, gone on a quest to revive her, immediately start dating a newer, sexier half-yokai?
I'm gonna say definitely not the latter. He's a good, sweet, loyal boy. Probably be like, hey, go find someone normal, dude. But I think he would have, because he literally said as we were leaving, he's like, hey, Avi, don't do anything stupid. She did something stupid almost immediately.
Naturally.
Can't take his fucking advice to save her goddamn life. He said to the highest standard that it's like, don't let anything happen to her. And something happened essentially on their watch.
Yep.
He would have, honestly, I'm like, just judging by his previous behavior, he already doesn't like the highest standard and fucking hates Iocane. So, he probably would have shut them out completely and probably would not have been cool with them whatsoever. I'm like, I don't know. I don't play him, but I'm just judging by his previous fucking comments to and about the highest standard. He would not have been happy with them. And gone on a quest to revive her? I don't know, because he's not like super knowledgeable of magic or anything like that.
Fair.
But I think I'd like to think from like Avi's side of things that he would have at least looked into it. But like, is there anything we can do?
Yeah.
Is there any way to bring her back? Because I think he would have, because they are, yeah, they are them. Fucking Avi and Rory, they're kind of like ride or die with each other, which I appreciate. But they're very cute. But I like to think he would have tried something to revive her, or like looked into it, but tried to do it legally. I think but I'm like, I don't know. I'm very curious to know if he would have gone like for higher magics that might not be legal if it meant saving Aviana. That is something.
I mean, if
I
it's
feel like he would have
more
tried to go through the legal chains first.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
mean, he has
How that boy
taking-
do.
up to 10 days, I think, without a gentle
Mhm.
repose before it becomes illegal
Yeah,
to get Avi back.
yeah. So
As far as I vaguely know the system.
Mhm.
yeah,
So,
it's like
yeah.
I think Rasputin's still in Summergrass at this point.
Also, I imagine Rory's family has 500 gold somewhere.
Oh yeah, Rory
Between all
alone
of
probably
them.
has 500 gold. His parents are dead, so it would be between him and his brother.
Right.
So
I imagine he could pull enough favors with the people he has sway with to make it work.
I'm sure he's fine financially.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just pull the money off of Aviana's corpse. She has so much money, dude.
Oh, maybe we would have if he didn't shut us out. I'm kidding.
I mean, yeah, man.
Get that. Next question is for Quintus. Dear Quintus, when will you ask Flux to cast a permanent gate spell using wish to connect the Valor-built estate and your house?
Oh, never.
Never, you said.
Never.
Interesting.
There's no need. There is zero need for that. First off, it's like basically like, oh, do you want to be in the Land Away all the time? Do you want to be in Summergrass all the time? No, he doesn't want that at all. That would be
Nobody needs to know about it.
he would probably think that the wish spell should be used for something much grander than something that he probably wouldn't even use. He would probably believe that it would first off be for somebody other than him. He'd be like, definitely like, Flux, you should do something for yourself. But if Flux insisted on doing something for the guild, then it would be something far more useful, like bringing it to larger points of interest, or like things that are more important to the party than Quintus's house. If anything, like there would be, even though it wouldn't be amazingly needed before anything, he'd be like, oh well, maybe like a place to like take us from our house to like the grounds that were our old house, so we can hurry and build Fenris's place again. Because after he gave the deed to Fenris after their old house burned down, it's like, you know, it's not needed. It's just an hour out of the way. But he's like, that would be cool. We could like transfer the stuff a lot quicker. It'd be great.
Just wish that it was built right next to your current house, so it's just good.
Let's just take the highest standard and make it a city of its own.
Perfect.
The highest city.
Put it on top of the mountains.
To the sky with you, city.
To the sky wall.
We just live on this sky.
That is the highest standard, after all.
It's true.
Last question that I have, and then the game with the highest stakes ever conceived.
Oh, jeez.
Dear Quintus, do you really think the other group is going to return safely? Really? Them?
He felt, honestly, again, I don't know what happened with you guys. Apparently a lot of things. But out of both groups, he 100% thought that the other group was safer. It's like, they're just going after guys that we already beat up. They'll be fine. No, the big thing with them is they have to get there quick. Like, they're fine. They're going to come back and they're going to tell us all about their grand adventure and how each of them, like, did their humongously heroic thing that utterly destroyed their foe. Like, he thought that, like, if anyone's going to have problems, it will be his group. Because, you know, nobody there could help them other than Lyra. And again, he was pretty confident in his group as well, which is, you know, good. The curse was the big thing that happened on our group. I don't know about your guys' group.
Yeah,
Things
happen.
Yeah, everything was incredibly easy and mundane, and there were
Exactly.
no issues whatsoever.
Exactly.
No insect queens, no Durgar, no weird guy singing in the Underdark. It's been fine.
Yeah. The Underdark is super chill.
It's so safe, dude. Like, honestly, 10 out of 10 would move here.
Perfect.
Roy would hate it.
Oh, he would hate it. Like,
he would probably not like it.
He wouldn't.
Can we bring a son to the Underdark?
No, it's fucking disrespectful to the people who live here. God, shit, get it together, dude.
Yeah, but like a son.
A son? No.
The sun is great.
It's like, nah.
Paint a little sun on top of the cave wall. It's fine.
Did it?
Get some enrichment for his enclosure.
Now, look, cast wish on this drawing to make it go up and down like the actual sun.
You get it? Yes, sir.
Also, let it like give off light and go over the entire Underdark.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
You know what? It'd just be faster. Let me just do this. I wish the Underdark was above ground.
I wish the Underdark was not under or dark.
I wish the Underdark was right.
What a good time.
The Underlight.
With this, we move on to the game with the highest stakes ever conceived for the first time. There have been 8 of the questions today that have been asked by your fellow players on Nat19.
Oh.
And we will try to get through them as quickly as possible. So we're going to try to rapid fire round.
Okay.
You will have 4 guesses each. I believe in you. We are starting with...
Okay. I did write down a couple that I thought. I'm gonna go with Dear Caca Girl. Avi and Fenris's relationship has been pretty neutral and occasionally awkward. That one.
Okay, that question, Dear Caca Girl, was indeed asked by one of your fellow players on Nat19. Who do you believe asked it?
Okay. Between 2. I want to say... Could also be someone fucking with me. I'm gonna say Carrie, because she also makes board girl jokes. I speak for a living, Chase.
He makes Gene jokes.
Yeah, man.
Jorks. I love it. That question was indeed asked by Carrie.
Hey! Yes! Suck it, Carrie.
Did it.
I love
First
you.
Try. God.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, Cody, you have the next go.
I want to say, Dear Quinn, it seems that you've been recently chasing a particularly foxy lady.
That was a very long question, so I'm not going to read all of it.
Yeah, that's why I just said the first part.
Recently chasing a particular foxy lady. This question was not asked by one of your fellow players on that night.
Curses.
Hey, it's your turn.
Okay, I want to say, Dear Aviana, do you ever plan on settling down and starting a family?
This question. The dream family life one.
Uh-huh.
This question was also not asked.
Yes! It's fine. I thought it might be red.
I think there were like 23 or 22 questions that made it in this time, and 8 of them were asked by your fellow players.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying, man.
But you're whittling them down. We move on.
Wild card, out of nowhere guess. Dear Quintus, do you think the other group is going to return safely? Really, them?
Oh, that was my next
That question was indeed asked by one of your fellow players.
That's what I thought.
Now, who do you think it be?
I feel like it's either Carrie or Bread, but I'm gonna have to stick with one, so I'm gonna say Bread.
That question was not asked by one of the boys.
Dang it! Who was it?
It was Aaron.
It was Aaron.
It was Aaron.
That did not sound like an Aaron question.
That,
but that's
honestly,
interesting.
It feels sassy enough to be a nerd question.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
We return to Hayden. Second to last guess.
Okay, I want to say, Dear Avi, most people would normally identify you as a confident, independent bird person.
This question was not asked by one of your fellow players.
Okay.
Surprise. Return to Cody.
Again, kind of wild card out there. I'm not getting any vibes from any of these. I'm gonna go with Dear Quinn, are you gonna take it when the other party gives it to you? Because that was the first thing that was said when I went into a chat one day.
And how cursed do you think it will be, like scale of 1 to 10, this question? Was asked by one of the players on Nat19! Now who do you think get the do?
No, I'm just gonna keep guessing Carrie. Oh wait, no, I said bread last time. I'll go Carrie this time.
This question was not asked by Carrie or Bread.
Who was it?
It was the Is Boy.
The Is Boy?
The Is Boy?
The Sizzler himself.
I'm not getting any vibes, so like I'm just like, this person every
They're
time.
all truly disguising all of their questions so very well.
They are. They've gotten so good at it. I'm proud of them.
So proud.
Yeah.
Final guess for Hayden.
Ooh, I'm between two. Okay, I got one, so I'll take that, because I've never got one before, so we'll take this as a win alone.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Do it.
Oh, they're all so good. Y'all ask good questions this time.
How dare they?
I want to ask... It's tough. Y'all are good at this.
Can you use phone a friend?
Yeah.
Can that friend be one of the ones that made the questions?
Yeah. I want to say, because it only happened recently, and when it happened, we had closed the question. So I'm going to ask, Dear Avi, how does an encounter with death impact your outlook? Because we had already closed the thing, so that's what I'm banking on.
That logic has served you well, because that question was asked by one of your fellow players.
Yes!
Who do you think did it?
Ooh, I don't know who done it. Okay. Ooh.
Who do you think did it?
I'm trying to think. Because I'm like... Thinking is hard, Chase.
Mistakes are
was it you? No.
It wasn't!
Fuck! I'm gonna say... I want to say... Spencer?
This question was submitted by internet famous Brett Brederson.
Really? Yeah.
Knowing
I could see
Spencer,
that.
he didn't ask anything.
Did he ask any?
Surprise!
Oh.
You may be surprised.
Oh, but will I be, though?
You have one shot to figure out if you'll be surprised, Cody. What do?
I mean, following the same logic as Hayden, Dear Avi, what do you think Rory would have done if Avi stayed dead?
Yeah, that's fair. That was my other guess.
Okay.
Good logic.
This question. Dear Avi, what do you think Rory would have done if Avi stayed dead? Sworn vengeance on the highest standard, got a quest to revive her, immediately started dating a new, sexier half yokai. This question. For your final guess. Which, to add further tension, the submit questions button was still checked, so people could have submitted questions up until the point where the episode started.
That's true.
Yet, despite this, it was asked by one of your fellow players on Nat19.
And it was Spencer.
It was not.
Damn it!
It was the Is Boy who struck again!
Oh!
See, I wanted to catch him. I wanted to catch Spencer, because you're like, maybe you'll be surprised.
Dude,
I wanted to catch him. That was my only chance to.
Dude, I also thought it was Spencer due to the last sentence.
Yeah, that was the dating and sex. You were second year half yokai, but let's be
Yeah.
honest, Spencer isn't that funny. Only Izzy's that funny.
No, the thing is,
Fucking
Izzy's
roasting
behind me.
this boy.
Izzy's gonna get drop kicked for that part.
Oh, naturally. Naturally.
Oh, nothing to worry about it, Izzy.
The remaining questions were submitted by Borp, who asked, Dear Quinn, when it comes to noble practices, where does Quintus excel and where does he stumble? Additionally, Carrie asked, Dear Quinn, how do you feel about being away from Kitty for this long?
Ah.
And finally, the last question which was missed was, Dear Quinn, how do you feel about your outburst you had towards the glaive? Want to talk about how you almost killed half your friends over a petty insult? Which was asked by none other than Spencer!
Of course it was Spencer.
Yet God!
Of course it was Spencer, who honestly, again, we destroyed that fight. None of us got. There was no way that any of us would have actually died in that fight.
To be fair, this is an instance of a player asking a question that someone else asked as well.
Okay.
Viewers, so I combined them.
Okay.
I see.
Because
But
like
yes.
I'm sitting there like, there's no way Spencer thinks that freaking we were actually close to dying there. We destroyed them.
Spencer would never think Vogan was ever close to dying, even if he
No.
confirmed he died.
He'd be like, no,
Here's
no.
the thing. Spencer
fine.
might when it comes to Vogan, but like we all know how gross Vogan is.
Oh yeah, Vogan's
He's a gross
and
bitch. But we
we
love
all
him.
love him.
But he's still a gross bitch.
He's a lovable, gross bitch.
He's our gross bitch.
It's true.
And with that, we put this episode of Chat19 to a close. Thank you all so very, very much for coming by, answering these questions. I appreciate you both so much.
Stop jiggling the lock.
I'm
You
nowhere
can't get
near
out.
the lock. What do you mean? I don't know what
You
Back,
can't come
back
out.
away.
Get
I will
back
bring
in.
the spray bottle back. Get away from the lock. Get away from the lock.
You're not allowed to leave us again.
You're not allowed. No, you stay where you are, Chase.
Makes a run for it immediately.
Makes a
He's
run
trying
for
to
it
get us-
in the coffin.
Yeah. On
Lock's not moving!
your
Lock's
treadmill.
not moving!
I will
I'm
take the
jiggling!
treadmill away from you.
I'm jiggling as hard as I can!
Don't worry,
I'm
we
jiggling
might,
away! My
remember
computer will shut down!
we might remember to get you food. Don't worry.
Well, we might. Hey, yo, Cody, you want to go play games after this?
Oh heck yeah, let's go.
Yeah. I don't think we
Okay.
have anything to worry about.
Yeah, this is fine.
This is fine.
Well, before I'm doomed to my wretched fate, just wanted to thank all of you watching for submitting so many questions. Thank you so much.
Thank
Feel free to check the forum below or on the Twitch page to submit more questions. This coming episode will, I believe, be Flux and Legs.
Oh,
Yeah, get the flexi boys.
the
The
flex.
Flexi Boys. It's gonna be so good.
I'll have to get my revenge on Izzy.
Yeah, same man.
The revenge is forthcoming.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Tune into that. Tune in for the revenge. Before we head out, where can people find both of you? Hayden, where can people find you?
You can find me over on the Twitter at HeyBaleVoice. I post a lot of shitposting stuff, but I also post a lot of voiceover. I talk a lot about Nat19, so if you guys have other questions, you guys can also just ask me there. I mostly just post a lot of memes. You can follow my dice making fucking Twitter at Guildhall Dice, where I post my dice making endeavors. Sometimes I make dice based on Nat19 characters. I just posted some Merriam dice that I made.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Let's see, I'm also over here, like, a whole bunch over on Nat19. You can watch me, like, 3 times a week on Nat19. Got our Wednesday streams with Brett Brederson, and then Thursdays, and then also Saturdays. And, you can watch, support the shows I'm in. Go look on my IMDb, pick a show that you like, and, go watch it. Watch Goblin Slayer, watch Helpful Fox Senku-san, something like that. New shit coming down the wire that I'm excited about.
Heck yeah. So excited.
Keep an eye on my Twitter.
Cody! Cody, where can people...
Well, you can also find me over here 3 times a week with the 2 of the same shows that Hayden would be in, but myself on Tuesdays with an Eric boy. As we are playing some nice games as the cool kids. Other than that, you can also find me over on twitch.tv/Summoners Network, where I do way too many games, and I should probably stop. Same thing. You can go over to Twitter, and I believe my Twitter is at Summoner Blue instead of at Summoners Network, but you can still find me there if you really feel like it. But yeah, mostly find us over on Let Them Play Games on the Let Them Play Games YouTube, which just hit 10,000 subscribers last week, which is heckin' nice.
So nice.
So yeah, you'll be able to find us all over there.
Don't you have a fancy Avatar: The Last Airbender themed game that you have?
I do. I have a fancy Avatar: The Last Airbender game happening tomorrow. But you should instead watch whatever the hell Brett and Hayden are playing over on Let Them Play Games over on the Nat19 official server.
Watch both simultaneously. I believe.
Dude, Simul streams are so good.
Yeah, man.
Like I've actually played a couple of them where like I was like doing some Pokemon things with other people, and it was super fun. But I think that these 2 in particular might not be as fun to Simul stream.
Wow, you wouldn't want to... We're going to be playing TTT this Wednesday.
Whoa.
Trouble in Terrorist Town. It's going to be a good time.
That sounds
They probably won't know, because I don't know when this is going up.
No. But
It'll be
we'll
up one day.
We'll jump into some other games soon. Maybe It Takes Two and some other stuff. We'll see.
Oh, heck yeah.
Check them out. Have a good time. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Good time. Find me on Twitter, at Coffin Jockey. You can also find me behind the Denny's. You know the one. I'm there, and
if we allow him to
challengers in a fist fight. I am constantly astral projecting to that Denny's at all hours of the day, even while I'm conscious. There's no way to stop this horrid curse in which I smell the pancake syrup all day.
We should have never let you have that sheep talisman.
This is what happens when you give me talismans, man. I'm going to find a way to get out of here one of these days. No matter how much enrichment you put in my enclosure. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you both so much for stopping by asking questions. This has been a real good time. And we will see you guys next month for more Chat19.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.